My name is Mike Davis, and this is my story. I have two brothers and a sister, an older brother, older sister, and a younger brother. My younger brother is adopted. He's Puerto Rican, and my parents adopted him when I was, I guess, about 4 years old. That was kind of what it was like growing up. It was just family, fun, outdoor stuff. Sitting on the stoop when we were younger and too young to get into trouble, sitting on the stoop and kind of watching the trouble happen. And then when we got older, unfortunately I did get into some of the trouble myself. God came into my life when I was in my mid-20s, mid to late 20s, when basically my life just crashed around me. I had been married for all of 8 months. To a woman who I had been with for 4 years, all throughout college and things like that, and a year after that, and a couple of things happened. One, I went from somebody who was going to the gym 6 days a week, I played rugby in college and all that, to all of a sudden starting to feel weak and get sick. Eventually I was diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome. And I was laid up for 6-7 months, really, couldn't work. And this was right after I got married. And so that was really hard to struggle through. It was kind of like walking around, I felt like kind of like walking dead, I was doing things, but I didn't really see the point in anything. And then I met somebody who invited me to church. It was that straightforward. And I started going to a church here in Queens, and I started to hear a message about unconditional love. And for me, when I first started hearing it, I was like, wow, that's really nice if that really existed, because I was in a place where, I was convinced that, okay, there couldn't be any unconditional love. And then I started to learn more about the gospel message, and it started to give me a sense of peace. And I found it was the only thing that would give me any peace at that time in my life. So the more I studied, the more I learned about God, the more I learned about how He saw me and how important I was to Him and what He was willing to do for me. That God has a reason for me to be here, and that there is a reason that I go through whatever I go through. I believe that my reason for being here is, one, to tell people in whatever way I can, just kind of what I'm telling you now, which is how I met God, or how He met me, and how I developed a relationship with Him. Everything that happens has a reason, and that God is always working and He's always in control, even if you don't really understand why at the time. I believe that most of it He will reveal to you over time. The only thing I can sort of go through life, whether it's about a failed marriage or something like that, is just try to make sure that for me, I have integrity with myself and with God, that I'm doing what God wants me to do in any situation. God is great, He loves you, He looks after you, but that there are also going to be challenges in this life. And that's okay, because you always have the constancy of God who will love you, and I will love you, and neither one of us will ever walk away from you. My name is Mike Davis, and this is my story of hope.